مساء الخير. Parents, guests, faculty, and the joy of this occasion, our graduating class of 2024. I am truly honored and humbled to have been voted as the faculty speaker for this dinner. I'm honored because there are a lot more faculty members who are better at public speaking than I am, and I think they also may have better advice than I might give you. I'm also humbled because within your class, I actually taught about 60 to 70% of you at least once. About 40% of you I taught twice, and a few unlucky ones I taught 3 times. So the fact that you still want me to go on a 10-minute tangent is truly humbling, so thank you. Congratulations to the class of 2024. مبروك. يعطيكم العافية. One more day and you will have successfully graduated from high school. A big milestone in life. يعطيكم العافية on all the hard work and dedication that you have put into your time at King's. Now, I was given a piece of advice about this speech, to basically not make it about myself. So to that, I said, challenge accepted. So I'm going to start with 2 truths and 1 lie about myself. And before I start, seniors, if you look into your gift bags, you will find a pen and 3 cards. Can you please take them out? We'll use these through the speech and we'll refer to them. Keep the pen aside for now. So I'm going to share again 2 truths and 1 lie, and I'm going to ask you to hold certain cards up to see which one you think is the lie. First one is, I spent my first night at King's Academy as a student in At-Tayr House, which is now a female dorm. Second one is, I was the first King's scholar at the school, and I was also the first King's student to say grace at the dining hall, and I was also the first King's student to be accepted into college. The third one is, I wrote my Common App essay for undergraduate about respect. And my graduate degree statement of purpose, I wrote it about integrated life. And to come back to King's, my cover letter was about love of learning. So if you think the first one, you have the 3 cards in front of you. If you think it's the first one about spending the first night in At-Tayr, please raise the red card. If you think it's the second one, having been the first King's scholar, the first to say grace, and the first to be admitted to college, please raise the second one, the blue card. Okay? And if you think it's the third one, that I wrote the major essays in my life about King's Academy guiding principles, please raise the third one. All right. Thank you. We'll circle back to this one at the end of the speech. Please keep the cards in front of you. The next part, I would like to ask your opinion about a few things. And I want you to use the blue card if you think whatever I'm about to say is overrated, the red card if you think it's underrated, and the gold card if you think it's properly rated. And we're going to start with some iconic meals at the dining hall. So, beef pistachio. If you think it's overrated, please raise the blue card. If it's underrated, the red card. If it's properly rated, the gold card. And feel free to look around and see how the others are thinking. This is how we feel about beef pistachio. Okay, the second meal, lasagna. How do you feel about lasagna? Blue card for overrated, red for underrated, gold for properly rated. Okay. Third one, chicken tenders. How do you feel about chicken tenders? Blue for overrated, red for underrated, gold for properly rated. Okay. Excellent. Thank you for entertaining this part. Now, for the next part, I'd like you to partner up with your parents. And this time, we're not talking about dining hall food. I'm going to go through a few different pieces of advice and quotes that I found at certain points that were helpful. And they may seem vague or generic, but again, I want us to see collectively now, parents and students together, if you think that this thing is overrated, underrated, or properly rated. So the first quote is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. To elaborate, for example, if a bunch of people are going into a 100-meter race, everyone has the same goal of wanting to finish first. Those who succeed are the ones who have the best systems. Raise the blue card if you think that piece of advice is overrated. Red card if you think it's underrated and it's a good one. And the gold card if you think it's properly rated. Again, you don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. Okay, the second quote or piece of advice is, you never know the true value of a moment until it becomes a memory. So please raise the blue card if you think it's overrated, red card if you think it's underrated, and gold if you think it's properly rated. Okay, a lot of reds for this one. Okay, third one. When you focus on the problems, you'll find more problems. When you focus on possibilities, you'll find opportunities. Please raise the blue card for overrated, red card for underrated, gold for properly rated. Okay, beautiful. Next one. Do not take things too personally. People are not really thinking about you all the time. They're just busy thinking about themselves. Please raise blue for overrated, red for underrated, gold for properly rated. More reds for this one. All right. Next one. When you begin to take note of things that you are grateful for, you begin to lose sight of things that you lack. Let me repeat it. When you begin to take note of things that you are grateful for, you begin to lose sight of things that you lack. Please raise blue for overrated, red for underrated, and gold for properly rated. Next one. Surround yourself with people who won't shy away from disagreeing with you and challenge you to consider different opinions. Be skeptical of those around you if they always agree with your opinions. So surround yourself with people who will not shy away from opposing your opinion and challenge you to learn something new. Blue for overrated, red for underrated, and gold for properly rated. Okay. Self-realization is the ultimate goal, but you're only going to live the journey. In other words, it's not about the destination, but it's about the journey. Please raise blue for overrated, red for underrated, and gold for properly rated. A couple more. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Blue for overrated, red for underrated, gold for properly rated. Okay. And extraordinary things happen by doing ordinary things over and over again for a long period of time. Please raise blue for overrated, red for underrated, gold for properly rated. Extraordinary things happen by doing ordinary things for a long period of time. He who suffers before is necessary suffers more than necessary. In other words, we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Blue for overrated, red for underrated, and gold for properly rated. Oh, more red for this one. Interesting. Thank you so much for entertaining my game. Please keep the cards for a bit. Next to you, this is not for the seniors. You have the pens as well next to you. I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things with those cards. The color doesn't matter, but please take a quick note and you can continue writing in those cards by the end of dinner. But on one card, I would like you to write a quick thank you to a friend in your class that taught you a skill or something you didn't think you were going to learn during your time at King's Academy. Take a moment, think of someone in your class that taught you, could be a skill, could be something related to class, something you didn't think you'll learn. and just take a quick note of who that person is and what you want to thank them for. And I'm going to ask you to give these cards to those people by the end of today, by the way. On the second card, I want you to write another quick thank you for a friend that became your go-to person whenever you had a rough day and you just needed to vent to someone. So first card, someone that taught you a skill. Second card, someone that was your go-to person to vent. Third card, I want you to write and acknowledge someone you didn't know well during your first year at King's and you barely interacted with during your first year at King's, but by the end of senior year, you became really good friends. So I want you to acknowledge that person and also say thank you to them. Please use the 3 cards. Hopefully by now you've thought at least of 2 of those 3 names. Think of the third one. Write down what the name is and what you want to thank them for, what skill they taught you, thanking them for being your go-to person to vent, and someone that you became friends with. I'm going to recall one of the quotes. You never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. High school has many challenging aspects, and I know that for many parts of it, you felt like you were going through a struggle that may have felt like it was unnecessary. But it is through struggle that one learns. Does this have a light? Sorry. There's a shot. Okay, this big difference. High school has many challenging aspects, and I know that for many parts of it, you felt like you were going through a struggle that may have felt like it was unnecessary. But it's through struggle that one learns and grows. You're never done learning and growing. You're always going to have a struggle in life. It won't always be academic. Sometimes it may be social, it may be family related, it may be financial struggles. Who knows, maybe at some point even an existential struggle. The idea is that you're never done learning. You'll continue to have different struggles in life. So my first big advice to you is to learn to embrace the struggle and the growth and learning that come from it. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, I'm done learning after high school. You're never done learning. And I'm sure our parents and guests will agree that the best professionals in any field are those who are responsible for their own learning. So learn to embrace the process. Don't make not wanting to put effort into learning your struggle. Let's see if I can circle back. For the advice about life and the different overrated, underrated, and properly rated, there were different levels of appreciation across the audience for the different quotes and different advice. The truth of the matter is that as you go on in life, you'll have different challenges and different needs depending on the phases or struggles that you're going through. Therefore, some advice might make more sense and feel more needed at certain times, and may feel unnecessary at other times. You won't always know which advice you need, but my second big advice to you is to not shy away from asking each other and bouncing ideas back and forth with each other. If you're honest and open with each other, you'll find that one of your biggest sources of support moving forward is in fact each other. And now let's take it back and make it about me once again, and go back to the two truths and one lie. I sort of threw you a curveball in there, and the fact that each one of those points has some truth to it and some lie to it. My first night in King's Academy was in Al-Tair House, but I was not a King's Academy student at that point. I was in the summer enrichment program. I was the first King's student to get into college and the first King's Scholar, but I wasn't the first person to say the grace. I didn't write all my big essays about the King's Academy guiding principles. And it's the odd one. It's actually my master's statement of purpose into civil engineering that I decided to write about integrated life. And it just felt like it fit at that point. The idea is not everything is black and white. And as you go on in life, you will encounter a lot of gray. Just because the world around us tends to push us into a binary way of thinking in terms of right or wrong or black and white, it doesn't mean that things are really that clear moving forward. So my third big advice to you is to learn to embrace the gray. Understand different sides and what they offer. Great leaders are those who understand the different sides sides, especially those who have different opinions. Great leaders think outside the box and realize that they're not stuck in answering the questions of the past, but at some point they have to set and frame the questions of the future. So before I end, to quickly summarize my 3 big takes that I hope you will take with you. Do not shy away from asking each other for help and advice moving forward. Learn to embrace the struggle and the learning process that goes with it. And learn to embrace the gray and don't fall into the fallacy of thinking everything is black and white. And for the last twist of the evening, can you please look under your chairs? You won't find anything, I'm kidding. I'm out of twists. Class of 2024, thank you for all the great times. You will always be dear to my heart and all of our hearts. Stay in touch and good luck in the future. Thank you.